Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we have some XRP news today. We have some Bitcoin news today. Oh, we have some banking news today. And we have some altcoin season news to get to. So let's begin here. This article is titled Ripple CTO Speaks on the Prospect of Seeing an XRP ETF. And it goes as such. The Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse recently spoke on the prospect of the market witnessing the launch of a spot XRP ETF amid the success of spot Bitcoin ETFs. It says Garlinghouse's latest remarks come in an interview at the Paris Blockchain Week, one of Europe's largest blockchain events, which was held at the Carrousel de Louvre this year. The prospect of a spot XRP ETF has been the subject of discussion among industry pundits following the launch of a Bitcoin-based products. It says, interestingly, U.S. asset managers have also filed to introduce spot Ethereum ETFs in the market, but this move currently faces potential turbulence. Well, yeah, actually it's interesting. I haven't seen any updates on that. I don't know why that news is not making it across my desk. They show me a lot. I read a lot of different articles, okay? But I haven't seen an update on that. Last I saw, the SEC had pushed it back. And then, of course, shortly after hearing they pushed it back, then they said they're putting Ethereum under investigation and all that type of thing. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Ethereum ETFs as of now. But I would think after Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP would be next up to bat if they were going to do something like this and continue, doing ETFs for a multitude of cryptos. XRP has massive amount of clarity, right? So I would think that they will be next up. It says, but this move currently faces potential turbulence. And unfortunately, if, the SEC causes damage to ETH, which who knows if that's going to happen or not, XRP definitely will be in the driver's seat, in my humble opinion. It says, while some Bitcoin maximalists would like to believe that the SEC could only approve spot Bitcoin ETFs. I don't know why that would be, but okay. Garlinghouse emphasized at the Paris Blockchain Week that he thinks the U.S. market will witness the launch of ETFs tracking other crypto assets besides Bitcoin. Like I said, I think I've iterated this before. I see ETFs as a control mechanism. It's a way to open the door for institutions to get in a way that they consider safely. When I hear that word safely, it's all about control. Every time I hear safely coming from the legacy system, they're trying to exact some type of control over something. And they always wiggle their way in under the guise of safety, right? And they want to make all the money. They know these things can make a ton of money on top of what they're making with Bitcoin, right? They all serve a different purpose. Not only just the money, they want to control those technologies. This is why you've seen so many banks praise XRP. I mean, even up to recently, who was it? It was some big institution put out a paper and was talking about XRP and XRPL within the last month or so. At least there was an article written about it. So yeah, they understand the technology. They want to control it. They know how to wield it. Let's be real. Some of these technologies were made for the big institutions, for the big money, like XRP. Algorand is in there. Stellar is in there. Quant is in there, right? So they want that. They're going to go after it. ETF is one of the ways they can do that. It says here, the Crypto Basic reported in January that Garlinghouse noted that he would welcome a spot XRP ETF product. He said this while speaking in a Bloomberg interview, asserting that the launch of the product is inevitable, quote unquote, inevitable. And we've seen how that has gone. There is the potential there for them to drive that price up. The potential, not a guarantee, potential. And this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you my thoughts. To drive that price up but first they would crash it. And I think you see a lot of FUD going on right now, right? That has kept the price very suppressed and kicked a lot of retail out. But they would want to dominate that price. They would want to take over. They could buy tons of it, just like they're doing with Bitcoin. I see it no different, but it would be interesting, that dynamic where there's actual utility behind XRP, because then they could actually use it. I wonder if ETFs will coincide with institutions that could potentially use the XRPL and build customized systems. There's also that. I haven't seen the massive run towards customization of XRPL systems just yet. And I think it goes hand in hand with that statement that we read last year. I can't remember who put it out. I think it was one of the lawyers, as a matter of fact. It might have been Stuart Alderati, as a matter of fact, but don't quote me on that, where we read an article that was saying how the banks, they love XRP, but they weren't going to go 100% with it until the case was completely over, right? And this statement came out after XRP itself got clarity. But you got to remember, when it comes to institutional use or institutional sales, whatever, that all of that is involved in the ending of this case. That's really the big use case there, right? Is institutional use of XRP for on-demand liquidity and a lot of other things, correct? So I think it makes a lot of sense that they've been holding back, but when that time comes, it'll be interesting to observe whether or not they actually start to, en masse, use customized systems for the XRPL, use XRP for that on-demand liquidity, bridge currency. They're going to need that. Payment channels, that's another mechanism. If you could read about it on xrpl.org, payment channels, where they can break apart large payments and send them bit by bit, but it's still a large transaction value. And I think you can count it all as one, even though it's broken up into pieces. And they say you can only use XRP with some of these mechanisms on the XRPL, which if you do it that way, it makes things extremely cheap. They know that. All of this, there's so many benefits. So, it'll be interesting to observe whether they capitalize on that or not. So it says here, and he addresses this a little bit. Ripple CEO SEC could delay ETF launch. It says, according to him, this projected delay will be due to the SEC's aggressive stance. Notably, the securities regulator has continued to delay a decision on the multiple spot Ethereum ETF filings on his desk. I was just mentioning that. In addition, reports suggest the SEC is looking to classify ETH as a security, which, well, let's be fair and balanced here. So for a lot of retail, that could run a lot of retail away. That's one side. But correct me if I'm wrong. I read this quote from Larry Fink. It was in a few articles, but I didn't see the man say it myself. Right. So you need to verify on your own if he actually said this. But he said it wouldn't matter to BlackRock whether they classify ETH as a security or not. He said it wouldn't matter. If that's the case, that's so bullish for Ethereum is unbelievable. And you know what? If that is really the case, if that's really how he feels, wouldn't it make sense? That's why a lot of people are still bullish on Ethereum. That's why they haven't moved. They haven't quivered. They haven't run away from ETH, right? That would make a lot of sense. That's super bullish. And if Larry Fink of BlackRock thinks that way, I would think a lot of others also share that same sentiment. Right. So that could make a big difference, and I think I wouldn't expect everyone to treat various cryptos all the same. There's different audiences, different so-called communities, and different mind states. Right. So, we'll see. We shall see. It says here, with every other asset besides Bitcoin at risk of being labeled a security. But XRP already has clarity. So how do you say this? I don't understand how you say this when XRP already has clarity. Period. I don't care what anyone else says. We're going by what the judge said, 1, and what the lawyers have said, 2 and 3 and probably 4. That's it. That's it. It has clarity. So XRP is there. But it says Garlinghouse noted that in the United States, XRP has also attained legal clarity alongside Bitcoin. Mr. Garlinghouse, thank you for clarifying that. Now, people screenshot that, keep that there, because I know there's a lot of people that will still say XRP doesn't have legal clarity, or, it says Garlinghouse noted that in the United States, XRP also has attained legal clarity alongside Bitcoin. I don't know where this other verbiage is coming from, but you know what? We don't even need to address that. All right. It says essentially, this clarity boosts chances of XRP securing a spot ETF product over any other crypto asset. So for all the people who are ETF enthusiasts and want that to happen, it looks like XRP could be next up to bat at some point. I don't know when. I'm not a part of Ripple. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't know. I'm not a psychic. So anyway, let's move on here. So now we got some more good news here today. Which, by the way, shout out to Asti and shout out to Matthew and Laser Current. Shout out to Marky Mark. We have so many great people. Shout out to Linda, Glitter. We have so many great people that are part of this channel. I just want to show everybody some love. I appreciate you. Thank you. But also, let me say this. Tonight, I may not be able to be in the comment section. Once again, I have another event I have to attend tonight. And it's going to run till late. This one, last time, I actually got out a little bit early, so I was able to respond to a comment or two. This time, I may not be able to, see all your comments on the spot. So I might see them a little bit later. But just know I appreciate you anyway. And, I have love for you anyway. Thank you for being here and watching the video. But we all have things we have to do in life, and I got to go to this event. So now, this article here is titled 820,000 XRP now locked in XRPL automated market makers as trading resumes upon recent amendment fix. It says the XRP army has moved in mass to lock their tokens on various automated market maker pools as trading resumes following a recent amendment fix. In a recent post on X, community member Crippen Writer called attention to the uptake in XRP tokens locked on automated market maker pools. At the time of the update, about 604,000 XRP assets have been locked across 201 liquidity pools. It says, remarkably, in a space of 3 hours, the number has expanded by over 200,000 XRP. In particular, at the time of reporting, data from the XRP Explorer XRP scan indicates that 820,657 XRP coins have been locked on 220 active automated marker pools. Now, I want to pause and say something that just popped into my mind. I'm giving it to you right on the spot. I think about multiple things simultaneously. So I'm reading this article, but I'm still like on that last article about the Ethereum and the SEC. I find it interesting. I'm connecting dots here. I find it interesting that they went after Ethereum so hardcore and said they've been investigating them for a while, right? So they went after XRP, a top crypto. They went after Ethereum. Now, with them going after Ethereum, I always wonder why they move so slowly, right? Even though the SEC gets a ton of money to fund what they want to do. But they've been moving very slowly with the top cryptos, right? They've been kind of all over the place. But anyway, recently, they asked for more money. That stood out to me. I saw a few articles where they asked for more money. And I was like, why are you asking for more money when you get so much money already? Now, wait a minute. This, in my humble opinion, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I believe they may be asking for more money to go after other top cryptos now that they see that most of the top companies are not rolling over. And these are going to be lengthy battles. They're still battling Ripple. They're going to be continuously battling Coinbase. I haven't seen a response from Ethereum, but I would think that they will fight. So let's say they get a lengthy battle out of Ethereum. There's other top cryptos the SEC may want to go after before their time is up because they don't know how long that this current regime is going to be in power, right? So just keep your eye on that. The reason I say that is because even though Ethereum is still, I believe is still doing well, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's still doing, even though they're still doing well in Ethereum ecosystem, that doesn't mean all ecosystems and communities are the same. So sometimes when the SEC goes after something, if it does go after any of these other cryptos, like legitimately goes after them, be careful because they can FUD people out very hardcore and they can tank those prices. You know what I mean? And personally, I'm here to make capital. I'm not here to lose capital. Listen, we all take a loss. I'm talking about in life sooner or later. But we don't intend to do such. We intend to win. So, just as a catalyst, I would keep my ear out for that just in case, because they did ask for more money and I would be very careful. I like to protect my value. This is why you see a lot of people when they take their money out of crypto. If you pay attention to the gold charts, you'll see the gold charts will go up. That's because people are taking their money out of crypto. And I'm just using crypto as an example because that's what we talk about most on the channel here. But you'll see the price come down in crypto, let's say Bitcoin, and then you'll see gold's price go up. That's because they're protecting their value. Then the same works in the opposite way. I've watched this, observed this many times. Gold price might come down a little bit, and then you see Bitcoin's price go up. And there's that relationship there, that correlation. So anyway, I like to protect my value. I think that that's best, that everyone should protect their value. But to be able to do that effectively, you have to know the catalyst. So you have this with automated market makers, great thing happening. I hope people are doing very well, and I think that this is only going to increase. This is obviously just the beginning. So now we have some more information, very interesting information here. It's funny. I always try to keep these videos on the shorter side, which for me is like 25 minutes. I know that's how it goes. Right? We cover a lot of information. But I always get to, when I begin talking, I'm enjoying myself communicating with everybody greatly. So then it becomes, I have so many thoughts that I'm generating, and then stuff goes a little bit longer, It's a good thing to enjoy what you do. I've done many things that I don't enjoy in life, like as work and, even businesses that I once was involved in. I didn't enjoy them. This, I enjoy it. I can't tell you why. I've always been this way my entire life, just analytical. And also every time I do research, I don't know if I said this to people before, but I think I wanted to, or I did. But when I do research, it brings me back to those early years with my father. My father got me started when it comes to research. He would always give me stuff and say, hey, Mick, could you look this up for me? Because he was a very busy man. I'm like, no problem, father. And I wanted to do a good job. So when I do a good job here, it brings me back that feeling again, Anyway, so now this article here is titled Chips Marks Migration to ISO 20022. Wait a minute. I think they wrote it wrong. They wrote 20222. Wait a minute. That's a wrong number, partner. Anyway. So if you want to know about the importance of ISO 20022, once again, because a lot of people speak on this, but they're not experts, right? I'm going to refer you to an expert. What's the company that's building on the XRPL? Wow, their name is slipping my mind. It's the other big company besides Ripple that is building on the XRP. I wanted to refer you to them, and I can't even remember their names. Believe it starts with a V. That tells you how crazy my day was and busy my day was. It'll come back to me later. This happens as you get busier in life. You may forget things. You may forget names of stuff, but we'll get to that. So the Clearinghouse says its CHIPS network has migrated to the ISO 20022 messaging format. The adoption of this format by CHIPS enhances the efficiency of payments processing, the Clearinghouse said in a new release on Wednesday, 2 days after the migration. It also lets participants and end user customers to gain value from enriched data content like extended remittance information and lets users query structured message formats for multiple purposes, such as sanctions and compliance screening. According to the release, the network wrapped its first day of operations on the ISO 20022 message format, having released 555,345 payments for a value of 1.81 trillion. Oh my word. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Please, can we end this court case now? Please. So some of this can flow through. Can you imagine a piece of this? Listen, if this doesn't tell you the big money that's there, there's enough money to go around. 1.81 trillion in a day. In a day. And we have a lot of banks lined up that will, or I won't say will, because there's no guarantees or anything. We can't force them to do stuff, but they're lined up to utilize the XRPL and XRP. They're lined up to use Stellar, Algorand. 1.81 trillion, a piece of that. Oh my word. Quote, these figures exceed expectations for volume and value for day one and parallel a typical operating day on the CHIPS network, unquote. I believe firmly we could take a piece of their business. All of these systems, whether it's CHIPS or SWIFT or any of them, they're going to be siloed. They need bridge currencies. They need something that's global, really global. That's us. That's us. The BRICS nations don't want to use this type of stuff. You're talking over 3.2 billion people. Come on, they will matter. They will matter no matter how much people want to downplay it. So that means they need connector pieces, and we have the pieces to connect everything fairly and neutrally. Fairly and neutrally. Says TCH Chief Product Officer Margaret Whitechurch said in the release, quote, They reflect confidence in the performance of the chip's ISO20022 platform and the promise that the new message format will deliver meaningful benefits to participants and customers. Now, hold on a minute. I want to go here because I like to close loopholes. I like to tie all the shoelaces. I don't like to leave anything undone. So let's go to Grok AI. One of my favorites is very fast. Let's type in, who are the major builders? No, not major builders, major companies on the, no, not on, using the XRPL. Let's see if they can give us the name. I just need to see the name and I'll remember that company. So you have Ripple. They're getting some old information. They still have MoneyGram. Wait, Ripple's not working with MoneyGram. They didn't start again. It's just MoneyGram said that they would be willing to work with Ripple again. I believe that's what happened. You know, I know they used to work with them and then they dropped them for Stellar because of the court case. But then there was like a comment where somebody asked MoneyGram representative, and they were like, we would be willing to. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I don't think that they've begun working with Ripple again. But anyway, Santander, American Express, SBI Holdings, Bitso, Novati, Senfrin, TransPay Go, Asimo. No. What companies are using XRPL technology? Yeah, wait a minute. Come on now. Coil, Forte, BitThump, Flare Network, Nexus, GateHub, BitTrue, Sologenic, Wire, Ripple X. Why are they? My word. And the company's name is right on the tip of my brain. And they wrote a document on ISO 20022. And let me tell you, I've been exhausted lately because I've been doing lots of work during the daytime, and it just is not coming to me. I tried, folks. You can see I put in the hard work for you, you know, same as I do for anybody that's close to me. Let me tell you something. Anybody that's close to me, I'm going to give you my best until my dying breath. That's how it is, you know, and I feel comfortable with that. I sleep good at night because of that. I feel good because of that. And I think life is about feeling good, you know, feeling content. So I give my best, and I gave my best. I'll think about it later. I'll think it up later. So, okay. So now let's move on from there. We have this article here is titled Major Wall Street Institutions like Park Avenue Securities and Inscription Capital bought into spot Bitcoin ETFs in Q1, according to just released SEC 13F filings. It says the latest 13F filings with the SEC reveal that major institutional investors have been acquiring shares in the new spot Bitcoin ETFs that launched last year. It says companies that manage over $100 million in assets are required to disclose their equity holdings quarterly through 13F filings. Bitcoin investors have eagerly awaited these filings to see who is buying into the long-awaited Bitcoin ETFs. The Q1 2024 13F filings released this month provide the first glimpse into institutional spot Bitcoin ETF positions. While allocations remain small, the purchases signal growing conviction in Bitcoin's investment merits. Among the largest buyers, or $9.9 billion asset under management, Park Avenue Securities LLC bought into Grayscale's GBTC. That's interesting that they went through Grayscale. While $1.3 billion Inscription Capital LLC also acquired shares. Other institutions like American National Bank and Wedmont Private Capital purchased positions in spot Bitcoin ETFs. The purchases range from a few $1,000s to hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm surprised it's not millions, but it'll get there. Still across the board, major wealth managers, family offices, banks, and investment funds are still nibbling on spot Bitcoin ETF exposure. This shows that despite Bitcoin's volatility, it is passing institutional due diligence. All right, so things continue to look good. The future looks very bright for Bitcoin as well as overall crypto. You know, when Bitcoin goes up, crypto will go up. So I love that. Now, we're going to end off with this article here. This is a great article to end off on, in my humble opinion. This article is titled Parabolic Altcoin Phase Yet to Arrive to Crypto Market Cycle, says trader. Here's his outlook. All right. I agree with that. Altcoin season has not come, but I think we all can see that. When it comes, man, People will know. The gains should be delicious. Once again, not financial advice. I don't know what people have. I'm not a financial advisor. Widely followed crypto analyst Crypto Paul says he thinks a, quote, parabolic, unquote, phase is coming to digital asset markets, specifically to altcoins. The trader shares on his in his Telegram channel a Bitcoin chart overlaid with CryptoCap, which measures the value of all assets in the crypto ecosystem, excluding Bitcoin. Says Crypto Paul notes how in the late 2020, Bitcoin reached its all-time high slightly before altcoins started going parabolic. Yes, it did. You're right. Look, and many other so-called experts have iterated the same. I saw similar. And they're saying that this time around is looking very, very close to what it was before, which is, I think is going to be much, much bigger. I do. The money is bigger. The institutions are here. So according to the analysts, a similar pattern may be in play today. That's what I was just saying. With altcoins potentially getting ready to explode following Bitcoin's recent touch of new all-time highs. I think Bitcoin is going higher first. I think that a lot of the big money that they're now leading the bull run, as opposed to before, retail was leading the bull run. This time around, we're seeing a lot of long-term retail sell. There's a difference. I think that the institutions are going to let Bitcoin go a little bit higher first before we get an altcoin season. And then that's also, I think people need to take into account, there's going to be a lot of volatility. So you're going to have these big spikes up. They could be long lasting or short term. It doesn't make a difference. But then you're also going to have equal dips and corrections. So just be prepared for that. You know, mentally, a lot of people, they talk about altcoin season and how things can skyrocket. But listen, I lived through that 2021 and sure, things went boom. It was unbelievable. But also, I observed personally how people's psychological standing could be very, very they could be weighed down because of the dips. There will be massive dips. I'm talking about tons of capital when you make gains and then tons of losses. Then there could be tons of gains again. And it could be a really emotional ride if you're an emotional person. I personally am not. But I watched others who it's a very stressful time. So I think that needs to be put out there, that there will be dips and corrections, period. There will be profit taking, and nothing is going to stop people from profit taking. There's a lot of people who they get very stressed out and they start telling people to hold and, hey, hold your stuff. And sure, that's great. If you feel like you could actually convince someone, I've never seen it. People, you got to understand, people are very rebellious, even if they don't tell you to their face, tell you to your face. They're going to do what they want to do. So it's like, so now with that knowledge, I think that the best that one can do is control themselves and make your own plans. You know, if you plan to hold or you plan to sell, and just start submitting that thought in your mind and in your heart that you're in this alone. You're in this alone. And yeah, and you're okay. You're okay. But if you're not going to be okay, yeah, this is definitely not a game you want to play, because there's going to be, especially when it comes to altcoins, there's going to be a ton of volatility. So this quote, remember that we are really in this stage. The trader notes a similar pattern with Ethereum and Bitcoin. It says, looking at Ethereum and its Bitcoin pair, often looked to as a bellwether for altcoin strength, Crypto Paul says that ETH/Bitcoin has bottomed out after bouncing off a strong support level around 0.05. All right, we're going to leave off there. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money. Okay, so I had to come back because I just, like a thorn in my brain. I just couldn't leave it alone. I had to find the company. I remember the name now. My apologies, folks. That tells you how, busy things have been. Volante Technologies. If you want to know about the importance of ISO20022, go to volantetech.com. They have a cadre of documents. They're professionals. They're going to tell you why it's important and the impact that it can have. All right. There's a lot of people like to write off ISO20022. Not that they should have to lean on it or I have to lean on it. I don't, but I'm just saying it is something that is significant. Even right here in this little piece that I looked up, it says, as such, ISO 20022 presents significant opportunities for banks worldwide. So listen, Go if you want information on that, you can go check that out at Volante Technology. See, I found it. I told you I put in that hard work. So now I got to go start getting ready, make my way out of here, go to this event real quick, and I will see all of you great people